Through the magic of theater, we welcome you to 1949. Fear not, at the conclusion of our production, you will be returned to the present day as effortlessly as you arrived. To acquaint you with 1949, you should perhaps be informed of how the world looks. Lucky Lady 2, a U.S. Air Force Boeing B-50 Super Fortress, will become the first airplane to circumnavigate the world non-stop from February 26 through March 2nd. Its 1949 journey will depart from Carswell Air Force Base in Fort Worth, Texas. Assisted by in-flight refueling, it will return to Carswell 94 hours and 1 minute later. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, known as NATO, will be established in April of 1949. It will be a collective defense agreement meant to protect Europe from the Soviet Union, which had been aggressively controlling much of Eastern Europe at the time. The pact will include a total of 12 Western nations. Although Germany has been defeated in World War II some 4 years prior, it will mount a successful invasion of the United States in 1949 with the VW Beetle. It will remain popular for many years to come. Speaking of invasions, in 1949 in Billund, Denmark, a company will begin manufacturing a new line of toys utilizing interlocking plastic bricks. Originally, the company called them automatic binding bricks, but that name will eventually give way to just having the toys being referred to as the name of the company, Lego. What do things cost in 1949? Well, inflation is at a minus 0.95%. A loaf of bread costs 14 cents. A postage stamp remains steady at 3 cents. Gasoline is getting up there toward an outrageous 26 cents per gallon. The average retail price for a brand new automobile direct from the dealer floor is a mere $1,420, and an average new home is selling for $7,450. Before you want to stay in 1949 to cash in on these bargains, you should first know that the average annual household income is $2,950. Born in the year 1949 will be Lionel Richie, John Belushi, and Sigourney Weaver. The hot new movies in 1949 are Little Women and On the Town. On Broadway, Carousel, the Rodgers and Hammerstein classic, will open in 1949 to rave reviews. One of the biggest hits of 1949 will be Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer by Gene Autry. And that newfangled invention, television, is beginning to become more and more popular, starting to arrive in more and more American households. In 1949, TV will premiere shows such as TV's first science fiction show, Captain Video and his Video Rangers, and the beloved and ever-popular Bozo the Clown, and The Lone Ranger, starring Clayton Moore and Jay Silverheels. But radio is still king. Families gather around the radio each night to hear the adventures of their favorite stars. Imagination abounds as the stories unfold right before the ears. Now you are in a radio studio as part of a live audience about to experience a weekly radio show being broadcast live. Please pay attention to the instruction of the on-air and applause lights. You will also notice the Foley artists who provide the sound effects. No, there are not computer-generated sounds in 1949. As our show begins, millions of listeners at home are tuning into our broadcast.
The Skelly Oil Company presents Captain Midnight.
What evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow knows.
The Lone Ranger. A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver.
Yes, it's Maxwell House Coffee Time, starring George Burns and Gracie Allen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to WBRC and America's favorite holiday program, the Jingle Bell Hour. Brought to you by the Bloomfield Rotary Club and J.D. Chapman Insurance.
Looking for insurance for home or life or car? Let J.D. Chapman Agency be your guiding star. Give us a jingle. 585-394, then 5482. Canandaigua, north side of town, will be so good to you.
We have a wonderful show for you this evening. We present none other than Frank Capra's instantly immortal holiday classic, It's a Wonderful Life.
George Bailey saved my life. Bless him, Lord.
Dio mio, please help my best friend, George Bailey.
Look after my dear son, George, Lord, please.
George always put everybody else first. He saved the whole town, if you ask me.
Please keep George Bailey safe. He helps everyone he meets, even when they don't deserve it.
George never asked for much. Give him a break, God.
Dear Lord, watch over my husband George tonight.
Please, God, something's the matter with Daddy. Please bring Daddy back.
Poor George. Clarence.
You sent for me, Josephine?
Clarence.
Sorry, I'm so out of breath. I came as fast as I could. I ran all the way here.
Clarence, hello. So I see. You didn't even have time to put your book down. What is that you're reading?
Oh, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. 70 years later, and it's still my favorite. I carry it with me everywhere in case I find myself with a few spare moments.
I see. Clarence, I've called you here because a man on earth needs our help, and I think you may finally be ready to help him.
What's the matter? Is he sick?
Worse. He's discouraged. At 9:13 this evening, Earth time in Canandaigua, George Bailey will find himself on a snowy bridge over an icy canal, seriously thinking about throwing away God's greatest gift.
Oh, dear, dear, his life. Oh, it's already evening. I've only an hour to dress. What are they wearing nowadays?
You will spend that hour getting acquainted with George Bailey.
Ma'am, if I should accomplish this mission, might I perhaps win my wings? It's been over 200 years now and people are beginning to talk.
Clarence, if you save George Bailey, you will earn your wings.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Now, sit down now, Clarence. Now, do you see the town?
I don't see a thing.
Oh, I forgot. When you have your wings, you'll see all by yourself. I'll help you out. Now, concentrate. Are you seeing anything?
A snowy hill and a frozen canal, but why are we...
Yippee!
Who's that?
That's George Bailey.
A young boy, but surely...
That's him back when he was 11 years old, back in 1917. Something important that changes his life forever happens right now.
Next down the slide, here comes my kid brother, the scared baby, Harry Bailey.
I'm not scared. Here I go. Help! Help me, George.
I'm coming, Harry, I'm coming. Make a chain, fellas, hurry.
George saved his brother's life that day, but he got a bad cold in his left ear. Cost him his hearing in that ear. It was weeks before he could return to his after-school job at Mr. Gower's drugstore.
Hi, Mr. Gower.
First day back and you're late.
Sorry, sir.
Get to work.
Yes, sir. Hi there, Violet. Hello, Mary.
Hiya, Georgie.
Hello, George.
Your usual Violet? Shoelaces?
Yes, please. I like him.
You like every boy.
What's wrong with that?
Here you go.
Thanks, Georgie. See you, Mary.
And how about you, Mary? Made up your mind yet?
I'll have a chocolate ice cream.
With coconuts?
I don't like coconuts.
You don't like coconuts? Say brainless. Don't you know where coconuts come from? Look here, from Tahiti, the Fiji Islands, the Coral Sea. Look at this.
A new magazine. I've never seen this one.
Of course, you've never seen it before. Only us explorers can get it. I've been nominated for a membership in the National Geographic Society. One chocolate ice cream with no coconuts coming up.
Is there the ear you can't hear in? George Bailey, I love you till the day I die.
I'm going out exploring someday, you watch. And I'm gonna have a couple of harems, and maybe even 3 or 4 wives. You wait and see.
George!
Yes, sir?
I don't pay you to be a canary.
No, sir.
Goodbye, George.
Here you go. Bye, Mary. And sorry I called you brainless. Hey, what's this?
Oh, a telegram. What does it say?
It's a telegraph from the school where Gower's son studied. He caught influenza and died suddenly this morning. Gower has spent the rest of the morning drowning his sorrows in the bottle. George, of course, knew there was something wrong with his boss, Mr. Gower.
Mr. Gower, do you want something? Anything?
No.
Is there anything I can do for you at all?
Yes, take these pills.
Oh, I'll get those, sir.
Take these pills over Mrs. Randolph. She's waiting for him. Her son has diphtheria.
Okay, Mr. Gower, but I think you...
Get going!
Yes, sir.
Did you notice anything about those pills?
Why, no, but I do hope they made the poor boy better.
Mr. Gower, in his stupor, had put a poison from the wrong bottle in those pills. George saw this as he was picking them up. He didn't want to embarrass Mr. Gower, but that boy was in danger. He needed advice. He decided to speak with the smartest man he knew, his father, Peter Bailey, who, with his brother Billy, had started the Canandaigua Building and Loan.
Ahoy, Captain, not so fast. Where are you sailing off to?
I have to see Pop.
Hello?
Not right now, George. There's a storm brewing. It's shaping up into a squall.
One moment, please.
But it's really important.
Billy, telephone.
Who is it?
Bank examiner.
Oh, no, I should have called him yesterday. Give me the phone. Why, hello.
Now, I'm not crying, Mr. Potter.
Well, you're begging, and that's a whole lot worse.
Who's that?
That's Henry F. Potter, the richest and meanest man in the county.
All I'm asking is 30 days more, just 30 days.
Pop!
Times are hard, Mr. Potter. A lot of these people can't find work.
Then foreclose.
I can't foreclose on them. These families have children.
They're not my children.
But
Pop!
Are you running a business or a charity ward?
Mr. Potter.
Not with my money.
Mr. Potter, what makes you such a hard-skulled character? You have no family, no children. You can't even begin to spend all the money you have.
So, I suppose I should give it to miserable failures like you and that idiot brother of yours to spend for me.
My father is not a failure. You can't say that about
George.
You're not. You're the biggest man in town. Bigger than him. Bigger than anybody.
George, enough.
Huh. Another Bailey.
Don't let him say that about you, Pop.
All right, son. Thanks. I'll talk to you tonight.
But, Pop.
Later, son.
So George left with no new idea what to do. He knew he couldn't bring those pills to that sick boy. He returned to the drugstore.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Randolph. I sent George over there an hour ago. They'll be there right away.
Mr. Gower?
What's the matter with you? Why didn't you deliver those pills? Don't you know that boy's really sick?
Yes, sir, but Ow, you're hurting my sore ear.
Get out of here!
Mr. Gower, you don't know what you're doing. You put something bad in those capsules. You got that telegram and you're upset. Look at the bottle you took the powder from. It's poison, I tell you, it's poison. I know you feel bad.
George!
Don't hurt my sore ear again.
Oh, George, George!
Mr. Gower, I won't ever tell a soul. Hope to die I won't.
Oh, George, thank you.
And did George ever tell anyone about those pills?
Not a soul. And he helped Mr. Gower through that difficult time for several more years. Times were hard for the Baileys, so George couldn't afford to go to college right away. When he graduated high school, he went to work for his father at the Building and Loan, saving every penny so he could finally do what he always dreamed of, traveling the world and going to college. The day arrived at last. George finished his last day of work and was ready to get out of Canandaigua.
Oh, hi, fellas.
Hey, George. Glad we ran into you before you left. The guys down at the station got you a little something.
Ooh, a compass.
So you'll always know where you're going.
Oh, thanks, Bert. That's really something. Oh, and you put my name on it. Hey, Ernie, how about giving me a ride home in style? Last day in town.
Oui, oui, monsieur. Ernie's taxi is at your service. So what boat you sailing on?
Oh, I'm working my way across on a cattle boat.
A cattle boat?
So? I like cows.
Hiya, Georgie.
Oh, hello, Violet. Say, that's a nice dress you have on.
You mean this old thing? Why, I only wear it when I don't care how I look. See you at the dance tonight at Canandaigua Academy?
Well, I don't know.
You're not going to skip town without giving me one more dance, are you?
Aw, Violet, I can't make any promises.
Don't let me down, Georgie. See you later, fellas.
Hey, want to come along, Bert? Show you the town.
No, thanks. Think I'll go home and see what the wife's doing.
Ah, family man.
Boy, oh boy, last meal at the old Bailey boarding house.
Well, son, I hope you have a great trip. We're all going to miss you.
Oh, I'll miss you all too, Pop. Now, what's the matter? You look tired.
Oh, I had another tussle with Potter today. I thought when we put him on the board of directors, he'd ease up on us a little bit.
I wonder what's eating that old money-grubbing buzzard.
Oh, he's a sick man. Sick in his mind, sick in his soul, if he has one. Hates everybody that has something that he can't have. Hates us mostly, I guess.
I'm off to the dance. See you later, Pop.
Harry, you behave yourself.
You coming later, George?
What, and be bored to death?
You couldn't have wanted better death. Lots of pretty girls. See you there.
Pop, did I act like that when I graduated high school?
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, George, I wish we could send Harry to college with you.
Oh, don't worry, Pop. We have that all figured out. Harry's already started working at the Building and Loan. He'll save for 4 years, and then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job.
Well, no younger than I was.
You were born older, George. I suppose you have the whole rest of your life planned.
Well, you know what I've always said. I'm going to design modern buildings, big cities, see the world.
First million by the time you're 30?
I'll settle for half that in cash.
Of course, it's just a hope, but you wouldn't consider coming back to the Building and Loan?
Oh, Pop, I just couldn't. I couldn't face being cooped up day after day in a shabby little office. I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean that. But it's this business of nickels and dimes. I'd go crazy. You know, I want to do something big and important.
You know, George, I feel that in some small way we are doing something important. Satisfying a fundamental urge for a roof over a person's head with 4 walls and a fireplace. We're here day after day helping men get those things in our shabby little office.
I know, Dad. I wish I felt... Look, I've been hoarding pennies like a miser in order to... Well, most of my friends have already finished college. I just feel like if I didn't get away, I'd bust.
Yes, you're right, son. This town is no place for any man unless he's willing to crawl to Potter. You've got talent. I've seen it. You get yourself an education and then you get out of here.
Pop, do you want a shock? I think you're a great guy. You know what? I think I'll get dressed and head over to Harry's party.
Have a good time, son.
Canandaigua gals, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight, come out tonight. Canandaigua gals, won't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon?
Old Mossback George! Hee-haw!
Sam Wainwright, how are you? When did you get into town?
Oh, this afternoon. I thought I'd give the kids a treat.
Ooh, old college graduate now, eh?
Oh, College Wainwright, they call me. Hey, well, freshman, looks like you're gonna make it after all.
Sure am.
Well, hey, I'll see you around, George.
Georgie.
Ooh, hello, Violet.
You gonna give me that dance?
I don't know. I'm not much of a dancer.
Then what are you doing here?
I thought I'd give the kids a treat.
Georgie, Porgy, you're not having any fun, are you?
Oh, you know, Vi, I got a big day tomorrow. A lot on my mind.
Well, tonight's your big chance. What would you rather be doing?
Are you game, Vi? Let's make a night of it.
Oh, Georgie, I'd love it. What do we do?
Let's go out in the field behind Town Hall and run through the grass.
All right.
Ooh, then we can hike up to the falls. Beautiful up there in the moonlight.
Hiking? In these shoes?
Yeah, there's a green pool up there. We could go swimming in it.
I can't get this dress wet. It's silk.
And we'll climb Bristol Mountain and smell the pines and watch the sunrise against the peaks.
George, you're a swell guy, but I'm not hiking up a mountain in the middle of the night. Boy, oh boy, there's something special about you.
I'm not sure how to take that.
As a compliment, for sure. I'm glad I know you, George Bailey.
Well, thank you, Violet.
Hee-haw! Hey, George, a bunch of us are driving on down to the pier to have a few more laughs. Want to join?
Oh, no. I'm feeling a little tired. My train leaves first thing tomorrow.
Oh, hey, then would you mind walking my best girl, Mary, home? She's not feeling up to it, and, well, you know her mother.
Oh, of course. That is if it's okay with you, Mary.
I'd like that, George.
Got room for one more?
For a gal like you? Of course. Come on, Violet. Good night, old Mossback, and good luck. Hee-haw!
Canandaigua gals, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Canandaigua gals, won't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon?
Hot dog, just like an organ.
Beautiful night.
Yes, it is. So you're off to college soon too, aren't you, Mary?
That's right, New York University.
To be closer to Sam?
Oh, no. I picked New York because I want to see the city. Plays, museums, and shops. So much to do. You know, like you've always wanted to do, George. Sam's just an old friend of the family, you know that. It would never be anything serious between us, even if my mother might want there to be.
Oh, well, you know, now that I know that, if it wasn't me talking, I'd say you were the prettiest girl there tonight.
Well, why don't you say it?
Oh, I don't know. It's my last night in town and all. But maybe I will anyway. Now, how old are you now?
18.
18? Why, it was only last year that you were 17.
Too young or too old?
No, just right. Your age fits you. Hey, look where we are. It's that old Granville house. I'm going to throw a rock and try to break a window.
No, don't do that. I love that old house.
No, you'll see it's good luck. You make a wish, then you try to break a window. You have to be a real good shot nowadays, too. Not too many windows left.
Oh, George, but it's full of romance, that old place. I'd like to live in it.
In that place?
Well, sure.
Well, I wouldn't live in it if I were a ghost. Here, now watch this.
What'd you wish for, George?
Oh, I didn't make just one wish. It was a whole hatful, Mary. I know what I'm going to do tomorrow, and the next day, and next year, and the year after that. I'm shaking the dust of this crummy little town off my feet, and I'm going to see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. Then I'll come back, go to college, and see what they know. And then I'm going to build things. I'm going to build skyscrapers 100 stories high, bridges 100 miles long. Hey, Mary, what are you doing? Hey, that was a great shot. What did you wish for, Mary?
Canandaigua gals, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Canandaigua gals, won't you come out tonight and dance by the light of the moon?
Hey, what did you wish for when you threw that rock?
Oh, no.
Oh, come on, why not?
If I tell you, it won't come true.
What is it that you want, Mary? You want the moon? You just say the word. I'll throw a lasso around it. I'll pull it down for you.
I'll take it. Then what?
Well, then you could swallow it, and it would all dissolve. And then moonbeams would shoot out of your fingers and your toes and the ends of your hair. Am I talking too much?
Yes.
Who's that?
Nah, old man Christie.
Excuse me?
Why don't you kiss her instead of talking her to death?
How's that?
I said, why don't you kiss her instead of talking her to death?
You want me to kiss her, huh?
Youth. It's wasted on the wrong people.
Hey, now hold on there, mister. Why don't you come back out here? I'll show you some kissing. It'll put hair back on your head.
George, you've got to come home. Quick. Your father's had a stroke.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need to go, Mary.
George's father died that day, and George canceled his trip so he could stay home and get his father's affairs in order. On his last day before leaving for college, the board of directors of the Building and Loan convened a meeting to decide the fate of the Building and Loan.
George, I think that's the last signature we need. On behalf of the entire board of directors, we want to thank you for giving up your trip. We all know how dedicated you have been these past few months.
Thank you, everyone.
We wish you the best of luck at school, in our deepest sorrows at the passing of your father. Now, gentlemen, to the main purpose of the meeting, to appoint a successor to Peter Bailey.
I'd like to get to my real purpose. I claim this institution is not necessary for this town. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to dissolve the Bailey Building and Loan and turn its assets and liabilities over to the receiver.
Took you no time to pick over his bones, Potter, considering you're the man who probably drove him to his grave.
Oh, I don't mean any disrespect, God rest his soul. He was a man of high ideals, so-called, but ideals without common sense can ruin this town. Now, you take this loan here, Ernie Bishop, sitting around all day on his brains in his taxi. I happen to know for a fact that the bank turned down his loan. But here we are building him a house worth $5,000. Now, why is that?
Well, I handled that loan, Mr. Potter. You have all his paperwork. I can personally vouch for his character.
Oh, a friend of yours. You shoot pool with someone, then you're qualified to borrow money. What does that get us? A discontented, lazy workforce instead of a thrifty working class. Now I say...
Now you hold on a minute, Mr. Potter. Now you're right when you say my father was no businessman. Why he started this penny ante building and loan, I'll never know. But neither you nor anybody can say anything against his character. In the 25 years since he and Uncle Billy started this thing, he never once thought of himself. But he did help people get out of your slums, Mr. Potter. Now, what is it you always say? People should wait and save their money before they even think of buying a decent home. Wait for what? Until their children leave them? Until they're so old and broken down that they... Do you know how long it takes a working man to save $5,000? Remember this rabble that you keep talking about? They do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this town. Is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in just a couple decent rooms and a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so, because people were human beings to him. But to you, a warped, frustrated, miserable old man, they're cattle. Well, in my book, he died a much richer man than you will ever be.
I'm not interested in your book. I'm talking about the building.
I know just what you're talking about. It's something you can't get your fingers on, and it's galling you. Look, I've said too much. You're the board here. Do whatever you want with this thing. But just one thing more. This town needs this one-horse institution, if only to have someplace people can go without crawling to Potter.
Sentimental hogwash. I want my motion.
Boy, oh boy, you sure told him, George.
What happened? We heard George yelling.
Well, we're being put out of business. Easy come, easy go. George, you better head out, or you'll miss your train.
What do you think they're saying in there?
Don't worry about it. They're closing us down. So what? I can get another job. I'm only 55.
56.
George, they voted Potter down. They want to keep going.
Woohoo! We're still in business.
They only have one condition.
What's that?
They've appointed you as the executive secretary to take your father's place.
Whoa, now wait, Uncle Billy's your man.
That's all right. He can stay on if you want to.
Oh, wait, let's get one thing straight. Uncle Billy, he's your man. I'm leaving right now. I have to. I'm going to school. This is my last chance.
But George, they'll vote with Potter otherwise.
He didn't go, did he?
No, he didn't. He gave his school money to Harry instead. Harry became a football star, made second team All-American.
But what about George?
George got 4 years older waiting for Harry to come back to take over the building and loan. And the day came that Harry did come home. He came with a few surprises.
Hot dog, there she blows. Uncle Billy, you know what the 3 most exciting sounds in the world are?
I sure do. Breakfast is served, lunch is served.
No! Anchor chains, plane motors, and train whistles. Hey, there's the professor now. Hee-haw, Harry.
Hee-haw! Well, if it isn't George National Geographic Bailey. Hey, Uncle Billy.
Boy, am I glad to see you.
Say, fellas, where's Mother?
Oh, she's at home cooking the fatted calf. Come on.
Oh, wait a minute, George. Uncle Billy, I'd like you to meet Ruth Dakin.
Ruth Dakin Bailey, if you don't mind.
I told you I had a surprise. Meet the wife.
Well, what do you know?
Well, how do you do? Congratulations. Congratulations. Harry, why didn't you tell someone? Now, Ruth, what's a pretty girl like you marrying a knucklehead like him for?
Well, it was purely mercenary. My father offered him a job.
He did, huh?
My father owns a glass factory in Buffalo, and he wants to get Harry started in the research business.
And it's a good job?
Oh, yes, very. Not much money yet, but a bright future. And he's a genius. My father fell in love with him right away.
And you did too, huh?
Enough questions. Let's get this lovely lady home to meet the mother-in-law. Milady.
Oh, why, thank you, sir.
George, about that job. Ruth spoke out of turn. I never said I'd take it. You've been taking care of things here for 4 years now. I won't let you down.
Well, let's get you home first. You're going to have to deal with Mother.
So Harry's coming home party became a wedding party.
Oh, I love parties.
Harry brought home with him some spirits to celebrate, and dear Uncle Billy, he felt he had the most to celebrate.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I feel so good I could spit into Potter's eye. I think I will. What do you say, old building and loan buddy? Let's do it tonight. Oh boy, you know, I better be getting home first. Now, if you could just point me in the right direction.
Just down that way.
That way?
Yes, sir.
Well, okay then. I'm all right.
Oh, well, hello, Mother.
So, how do you like her?
Who? Ruth? Oh, she's swell.
Looks like she can keep Harry on his toes.
Keep him out of Canandaigua, anyway.
Did you know that Mary Hatch is back from school? Came back 3 days ago.
Oh.
Nice girl, Mary. The kind will help you find the answers. Oh, stop that grunting. You give me one good reason why you shouldn't call on her.
Sure, Sam Wainwright. He's crazy about her.
We both know she's not crazy about him.
But her mother is. And how do you know, anyway?
Well, I've got eyes, haven't I? She lights up like a firefly whenever you're around. And besides, Sam Wainwright's away in New York, and now you're both in Canandaigua.
And all's fair in love and war?
Well, I don't know about war.
Well, then, Ma Bailey, if you'll just point me in the right direction.
She lives that way.
What are you doing out there? Picketing?
Oh, hello, Mary. I just happened to be passing by.
So I see. Have you made up your mind?
Huh?
Have you made up your mind?
About what?
About coming in. Mother told me this morning at the market you were going to stop by and pay me a visit.
Well, how did she know that?
Didn't you tell her?
Well, no. I just went for a walk and I happened to be passing by.
Well, are you coming in or aren't you?
Well, yeah, I'll come in for a minute, but I didn't tell anyone I was coming.
Let me take your hat. Have a seat.
Oh, thank you. When did you get back?
Tuesday.
Oh, I thought you might stay in New York with Sam and the rest of them.
I stayed for all those summers and worked, but after school, well, I guess I was homesick.
Homesick for Canandaigua?
Well, yes. For my family and, well, everything.
But after New York, don't you feel like you're suffocating here? No adventure, no excitement.
I don't know, George. Living a full life surrounded by your family and people who love you could be pretty exciting too, don't you think?
Yeah, exciting enough to give my father a stroke.
You know, George, I think your father was a hero. And I know most people in this town would agree with me.
Well, I don't know about that.
It was nice about your brother Harry, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
Don't you like her?
Well, of course I like her. She's a peach.
So it's just marriage in general that you're not enthusiastic about, huh?
Well, no, marriage is all right for Harry and Marty and Sam and you, but being shackled down to a job in a tiny little town, being stuck in your own life day after day, I'd go crazy.
Oh.
Mary!
Yes, Mother?
Who's down there with you?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What does he want?
I don't know. What do you want?
Not a thing. I just,
Well, what is he doing here?
He's making violent love to me, Mother.
Well, you tell him to stop right now and go right on home before I call his mother. And don't you leave this house. Sam Wainwright promised to call you from New York tonight.
You tell your mother not to bother. You know, I didn't come here to...
Well, what did you come here for?
I don't know. You tell me. You're supposed to have all the answers, so you tell me.
Oh, why don't you go home?
Mary, the phone! It's Sam!
All right, I'm going. You know, I don't know why I stopped over here in the first place, or why my mother told you... Oh, now where's my hat? Mary, where did you...
Hee-haw! Hee-haw, Sam. How are you?
Oh, just great.
There's an old friend of yours here, George Bailey.
Old Mossback George?
That's right, old Mossback George. Just wait a second, I'll put him on.
He doesn't want to speak to George.
Yes, he does. He asked for him.
Hey there, Mossback. What are you trying to do, steal my girl?
Hello, Sam. Now, what do you mean? Nobody's trying to steal anybody's girl. Here's Mary.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I want to talk to both of you. Tell Mary to get on the extension.
Mother's on the extension.
I am not.
We can both hear. We're listening, Sam.
I have a big deal coming up that's going to make us all a fortune. Hey, George, remember that night at Martini's bar when you told me you read someplace about making plastics out of soybeans?
Huh? Yeah, soybeans.
Well, I love the idea, and I'm going to do it. I found some big investors, and I'm going to build a factory outside of Rochester. How do you like that?
Rochester? Well, why in Rochester?
Well, why not? Can you think of anything better?
Well, why not right here in Canandaigua? You remember that old knitting mill that closed down? You tell your father he could buy that for a song and get all the labor he wants, too.
Say, we could put the whole town back to work. That sounds great. I knew you'd come through. Now listen, Mary, you're in on this, too. You have any money?
Money? Well, yeah, a little.
I want you to put every cent you've got into our stock, you hear? And George, I want you in on the ground floor. This is the biggest thing since radio.
Well, Sam, I don't know. The building and loan.
Oh, the building and loan. You're still married to that broken down place? Hey, Mary.
Yes, Sam, I'm here.
Would you tell this guy I'm giving him the chance of a lifetime?
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
Now, you listen to me. I don't want any plastics or ground floors or small towns, and I don't want to get married to anyone. Do you understand? I want to do what I want to do. But Harry can't stay, and Uncle Billy, Canandaigua needs that pathetic building and loan. I may never get out of here.
Oh, George.
Mary, a wonderful gal like you deserves better. You deserve New York, penthouses, and fancy cars, and Sam Wainwrights.
I spent 4 years in New York City trying to figure out exactly what it is that I wanted. And I know for certain that what I want is right here, right now.
Oh, Mary.
George Bailey, I'll love you till the day I die.
So George and Mary were soon married. The whole town celebrated. And as before, after one last night in town, the newlyweds were picked up in Ernie's cab to leave for their honeymoon. George had saved every penny for months. Between that and the gifts they received for their wedding, they finally saved enough to see the world together. But, as before, Canandaigua needed him again.
To the train station. We're world explorers at last.
Hey, Bert sent over the champagne. He said float away to happy land under bubbles.
Aw, good old Bert.
So where you two going?
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna shoot the works. A whole week in New York, then a whole week in Bermuda. The finest hotels, the oldest champagne, the richest foods, the hottest music, and the prettiest wife. Here's the kitty, Ernie.
I feel like a bootlegger's wife.
That does it, then what?
After that, who cares?
Aw, come here, you.
Uh-oh, don't look now, but there's something funny going on at the bank. I never seen one, but this has all the earmarks of a bank run.
Just a minute. Oh.
No, please, let's not stop, George.
Ernie, get me over to the building and loan.
Do 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 do.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello, everybody. Mrs. Thompson, how are you? Tom? What's the matter here? What is this, Uncle Billy, a holiday? Please just excuse us for a minute while we figure out what's going on.
Oh, this is a pickle, George. This is a pickle.
All right, now what's happened?
How does anything like this start? All I know is the bank just called in our loan.
When?
An hour ago. I had to hand over all our cash.
All of it?
Every last cent. And that's still only a part of what we owe.
Well, has the whole town gone crazy? Hello?
George?
Oh, hello, Mr. Potter.
George, there's a rumor going around town that you've closed your doors. Is that true?
Not at all, Mr. Potter.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that. It sounds like you have a crowd in there. Are you all right? Do you need me to send over the police?
Police? What for?
Well, mobs can get pretty ugly sometimes. George, I am going all out to help in this crisis. I've just guaranteed the bank sufficient funds to meet their needs. They'll close up for a week, then reopen. I may lose a fortune, but I'm willing to guarantee your people too. Just tell them to bring their shares over here and I'll pay them 50 cents on the dollar.
Oh, you never miss a trick, do you, Potter? Well, you're gonna miss this one.
If you close your doors before 6 p.m., you will never reopen.
He just took over the bank. I have some news for you, folks. I've just talked to Mr. Potter, and he's guaranteed cash payments over at the bank. They're gonna reopen next week.
But George, I got money here. I'll take mine now.
Ed, no, you're thinking of this place all wrong. The money isn't here. Your money's in Joe's house, right next to yours. And the Randolph house, the Christies, the Perrys, 100 others. You're lending them the money to build, and then they're going to pay you back as best they can. Now, what are you going to do, foreclose on them?
I've got $242 here, and $242 isn't going to break anybody.
Okay, Tom, here you are. You sign this, you will get your money in 60 days.
60 days?
Well, now that's what you agreed to when you bought your shares.
Hey, everyone, did you get your money? Henry Potter wanted to be sure y'all knew. Anyone who wants to sell him their shares, he'll give you 50 cents on the dollar, cash. He said if you turn him into his office before 6 p.m., he'll give you 55.
50 cents on the dollar.
Hey, now wait a second, everyone. Now listen, I beg you all not to do this. If Potter gets control of the building and loan, then there will never be another decent house built in this town. He's got the bank, the bus line, the department stores, and now he's going after us. Why? Well, it's very simple. Because we're cutting into his business, that's why. It's because he wants to keep you in his slums and paying the kind of rent he decides. Tom, you lived in one of his houses. Have you forgotten what he charged you for that broken down shack? And Mrs. Randall, how much extra did he give you to be his carrier pigeon? Well, don't you remember last year when things weren't going so well and you couldn't make your payments? You didn't lose your house, did you? Do you think Potter would have let you keep it? Can't you understand what's happening here? Potter isn't selling, Potter's buying. It's because we're panicked and he's not. We have got to stick together. We have to have faith in each other.
But my husband hasn't worked in over a year and I need the money. How will we live until the bank reopens?
I have bills to pay. I need the cash.
We can't feed our kids on faith.
We've got $2,000 to lend you right now. How much do you need?
Mary? Mary, oh, okay, yeah, we've got $2,000. This can last us until the bank reopens. Okay, Tom, how much do you need?
I'll take $242.
Oh, Tom, just enough to tide you over until the bank reopens?
I'll take $242.
Okay, then, there you are.
And that will close my account.
Your account's still here. That's a loan. All right, Ed?
Well, I got $300 here, George.
But Ed, what will it take you just until the bank reopens?
Well, I don't know, George. I suppose $20?
Now you're talking. Fine. Thank you, Ed. And, Mrs. Thompson, how much would you want?
But it's your own money, George.
Oh, never mind about that. How much do you want?
I can get along with 20, all right?
20. Thank you.
And I'll sign the paper.
You don't have to sign anything. I know you'll pay it back as soon as you can. All right, Mrs. Davis?
Could I have $17.50?
Oh, bless your heart, of course you can. Uncle Billy, do you have any quarters?
I think we're going to make it, George. Potter won't close us down today.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bingo! Lock the doors! Oh, we made it. We're still in business. And we've still got $2 left. Uncle Billy, go get the whiskey from your bottom drawer. This calls for a toast. A couple of old financial wizards.
The Rockefellers of Canandaigua.
A toast. Here's some Mama Dollar and Papa Dollar. And if you want this old building and loan to stay in business, you better have a family real quick.
Like rabbits.
This calls for cigars.
Oh, here, I have some. They're from the wedding. The wedding! Holy mackerel, I'm married. Where's Mary? Mary? Well, it's 6 p.m. The train's gone. Wonder if Ernie's still around with the cab.
Hello?
Oh, yeah, he's long gone. I better...
George, you have a call.
It can wait. Please get my wife on the phone.
Mrs. Bailey is on the phone.
I don't want Mrs. Bailey. I want my wife. Oh, Mrs. Bailey. That's my wife. Here. Mary, darling, I'm so sorry, and I promise I'm sorry, what's that? Come home? Well, where are you? 320 Sycamore. Oh, Ernie's on his way?
Well, here we are, 320 Sycamore.
The old Granville house?
Welcome to the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, Monsieur. If you'll please follow me. Enjoy your stay, sir.
Mary? Mary?
Welcome home, Mr. Bailey.
Home? What do you mean?
Do you remember the night that we broke the windows in this old house? Well, this is what I wished for.
Well, I'll be. I love you, Mrs. Bailey.
So George saved the building and loan again. They never got to take that honeymoon, and George labored away day after day to keep the business from falling apart at the seams. But even amidst the toil, Mary and George found ways to bring joy into their lives and the lives of all of their friends.
Mr. and Mrs. Giuseppe Martini, welcome home.
Oh, imagine that. I own this house. Me, Giuseppe Martini. No more we live like a pigs in a potter's field.
And your first housewarming gifts. Bread that this house may never know hunger, and salt that life may always have flavor.
And wine that joy and prosperity may reign forever. Enter the Martini Castle.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Bailey. Maria, hurry. Bring it the baby. Bring it the kids.
However, there was one man in in town who did not get joy from George Bailey.
I can guess who you mean.
That's right, Clarence. Henry F. Potter.
Look, Mr. Potter, it's no skin off my nose. I just collect the rent and do what I'm told. But you can't disregard the standard of living in Potter's Field any longer. People are moving back into Bailey Park as fast as the houses can be built. Have you seen them? Dozens of the prettiest little homes you ever saw, almost entirely owned by people who used to pay rent to you. If I were you, then...
Well, you are not me. Good day.
As I say, I just do what I'm told. Good day, Mr. Potter.
That George Bailey has been a boil on my neck long enough. Get me the building and loan.
Hello, Mr. Potter?
Hello, George. Please, come in. Welcome to my office.
Thank you.
Sit down, George. Cigar?
Yeah, thank you.
You, like it?
Ooh, yes. Yes, that's quite a cigar, Mr. Potter.
Good. I'll send you a box.
Well, I suppose I'll find out sooner or later. But what exactly did you want to see me about?
You're a straight shooter, George. That's just what I like about you. George, I'm an old man, and most people hate me. But I don't like them either, so that makes it all even. You know that I run practically everything in this town but the Bailey Building and Loan. You also know that for a number of years I have been trying to take control of it, or kill it, but I haven't been able to do it. Someone has been stopping me. You have beaten me, George, and that takes some doing. Take during the Depression, for instance. You and I were the only ones that kept our heads. You saved the building and loan, and I saved all the rest.
Well, some people might say you stole the rest.
The envious ones say that, George, the suckers. Now, I stated my side very frankly. Now let's look at your side. A young man, 27, 28, married, making, say, 40 a week?
45.
45.
Yeah, 45.
Out of which, after supporting your mother and paying your bills, you're able to keep $10 a week if you skimp. A child or two comes along and you won't be able to save a nickel. If this man of 28 were an ordinary man, I'd say he was doing fine. But George Bailey is no ordinary yokel. He is an intelligent, ambitious, visionary man who loathes his job and hates the building and loan almost as much as I do. A young man who's been dying to get out of town since the day he was born. The smartest in the crowd. A young man who was forced to sit by and watch his friends go places while he's trapped. Yes, sir, trapped into frittering his life away playing nursemaid to a town of garlic eaters. Do I paint a correct picture, or do I exaggerate?
What's your point, Mr. Potter?
My point is I want to hire you.
Hire me?
I want you to manage my affairs, run my properties. I'll lay it right out for you, George. I will start your salary at $20,000 a year.
20,000?
You wouldn't mind living in the nicest house in town, buying your wife a lot of fine clothes, monthly trips to New York, a few to Europe. You wouldn't mind that, would you, George?
Would I? You're not talking to somebody else here, are you? You remember me. I'm George Bailey.
Oh, yes, I remember you. George Bailey, whose ship has just come in, if he has the brains to climb aboard.
Well, what about the building and loan?
Oh, confound it, man. Are you afraid of success? I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 a year, starting today. Is it a deal or isn't it?
Well, Mr. Potter, I know I ought to jump at the chance, but I wonder if I might have 24 hours, just to think it over.
Sure. You go on home and talk about it with your wife.
Thank you, Mr. Potter.
In the meantime, I'll draw up the papers.
Yes, sir. No. No, now wait a minute here. I don't need 24 hours, and I don't have to talk to anybody. I know right now, and the answer is no. No, doggone it. You sit around here, and you spin your little webs, and you think that the whole world revolves around you and your money. Well, it doesn't, Mr. Potter. You know, in the whole vast configuration of things, I'd say that you're nothing but a scurvy little spider.
Welcome home, Mr. Bailey.
Hi. Sorry I'm so late. Mary Hatch, now why in the world would you ever marry a guy like me?
To keep from being an old maid.
You could have married Sam Wainwright, or you could have married anyone else in town you wanted to, for that matter.
I didn't want to marry anybody else in town. I want my baby to look just like you.
You know, I had promised you that I'd... You're what? Mary, you mean you're on the nest?
George Bailey lassos stork.
Do 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 do.
You're tuned in to the Jingle Bell Radio Hour, brought to you by the Bloomfield Rotary Club and J.D. Chapman Insurance.
Looking for insurance for home or life or car? Let J.D. Chapman Agency be your guiding star. Give us a jingle. 585-394, then 5482. Canandaigua, north part of town, will be so good to you.
There will be a brief pause in the tale. Please take this moment to visit the concession stands and take a stretch. We'll be back in 20 minutes with the conclusion of WBRC's presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. Welcome back to WBRC's Jingle Bell Radio Hour and the enchanting conclusion of It's a Wonderful Life, brought to you by the Bloomfield Rotary Club and J.D. Chapman Insurance.
Looking for insurance for home or life or car? Let J.D. Chapman Agency be your guiding star. Give us a jingle. 585-394, then 5482. Canandaigua, north part of town, will be so good to you.
So, as you probably guessed, George never leaves Canandaigua.
Oh, no.
Mary had their first baby, a boy.
A first?
Then a girl. Day after day, Mary worked away, remaking the old Granville house into a home. Night after night, George came back late from the office. Potter wasn't keen on being refused and was bearing down hard. But then came the war, and no lives were left untouched. Potter became head of the city draft board. Sam Wainwright made a fortune in plastic hoods for planes. Gower and Uncle Billy sold war bonds. Ma Bailey and Mrs. Hatch joined the Red Cross. Mary had 2 more children, but still had time to run the USO. But many of the men who George had known went into the battle. Bert the cop was wounded in North Africa, got the Silver Star. Ernie, the taxi driver, parachuted into France. But Harry Bailey topped them all. A Navy flyer, he shot down 15 enemy planes, 2 of them as they were about to crash into a transport ship full of soldiers.
Wow, what a hero. But what about George?
4F, on account of the deaf ear he got from saving Harry's life. George fought the Battle of Canandaigua, New York. Air raid wardens, paper drives, scrap drives, rubber drives. Like all Americans, on VE Day he wept and prayed. On VJ Day he wept and prayed again. But Clarence, we have now reached the very day. You will soon see how George ends up standing on that bridge overlooking the freezing canal. It begins the day before Christmas, 1945, about 10 a.m. Canandaigua time, with Uncle Billy taking a trip to the bank.
79, 8,000. Oh, Mr. Potter, imagine running into a Scrooge like you at the bank on Christmas Eve.
Bah humbug to you!
Oh, I see you have the paper. What's in the news? Well. Harry Bailey wins the Congressional Medal of Honor. It couldn't be one of those Bailey boys. You can't keep them down, can you? Well, I'm sure you'll want to read the entire article, maybe more than once. Here's your paper, Mr. Potter, and a very Merry Christmas. Good morning, Horace. I'd like to make a deposit.
Well, then I guess you forgot something.
Huh?
It's customary to deposit money.
Oh, of course. It's right. Well, I know I had it. Is it in my...
What about your jacket pocket?
Oh, no.
But where did the money go?
You didn't watch Billy closely. If you're going to earn your wings, you are going to have to pay closer attention. Billy had inadvertently wrapped the envelope with the money in with the newspaper he handed to Mr. Potter. And of course, Mr. Potter had no intention of being honest in returning the money. In fact, he called the bank with a tip that there would be a deficit at the building and loan, and insisted that they visit the Baileys that very day before the holiday began. Meanwhile, George made his way to the office.
Hey, Ernie, did you see this? Right on the front page.
Yep, gonna snow again.
What do you mean it's gonna snow again? No, look at this. Commander Harry Bailey's heroic homecoming in black and white. Here's a paper for you. Oh, and here's a bundle for all your customers today. And don't forget to pick Harry up. They're flying him back from Washington tonight.
And let down my country? Not in France, not in Canandaigua either. And I'm certainly not gonna let down Ma Bailey.
That a boy. I'll see you at the party.
You bet.
Oh, Mr. Carter, good morning and Merry Christmas. Hey, did you see the paper?
Merry Christmas, George. I sure did. Congratulations.
Congressional Medal of Honor. Can you believe that? The president himself decorated him. I'm sorry, we're all so excited. What brings you here?
Well, the bank asked me to do a check of your end-of-the-year finances before the holiday.
Oh, today?
Oh, I'm sorry, George, but I just go where I'm told. Believe me, I'm supposed to drive down to Ithaca to be with my family for Christmas Eve dinner. So just show me this month's receipts, and, well, I'll be out of here as fast as, well, I can.
Hiya, George.
Oh, hi, Violet.
George, can I talk to you?
Oh, well, sure. Mr. Carter, would you mind excusing us just for a minute?
Not at all. Hello, Violet.
Hello.
Violet, come on over here. Now, what's the matter?
I came to say goodbye.
Goodbye? Well, where are you going?
I'm off to Manhattan. I've got to get out of here. I want to start over.
Believe me, Vi, I know the feeling.
Oh, I know you do, Georgie. But you've done something special here in Canandaigua. I'm ready for a fresh start.
Well, then, okay. Here you go.
George, money? No.
Takes a lot of character to leave home and start over again.
But George...
You're broke, aren't you?
Well, I know, but...
What are you going to do? Are you going to hock your furs and your hat? Walk to New York? They're going to charge you for a roof and meals, just like they do in Canandaigua.
I promise I'll pay you back as soon as I get on my feet.
Well, that sounds fine, Vi. I mean, loans are my business. You'll get a job. Good luck to you. And why don't you say hello to New York for me?
I'm glad I know you, George Bailey. Merry Christmas.
Oh, now, Mr. Carter, apologies for the... Uncle Billy?
Come on, come here.
I'm sorry, just 1 second, Mr. Carter. Uncle Billy, what's going on? Get Mr. Carter the accounts payable receipts. You what? Now look, did you buy anything?
Not even a stick of gum.
All right, now let's not panic. Now we're going to have to go over every step you took since you left here with the money.
See George and Billy scour the town looking for that dropped envelope. They don't know that Potter had already deposited into his own account.
So tell me again, you're sure you put the envelope in your pocket?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Maybe. I don't want any more maybes. Uncle Billy, we have got to find that money.
Oh, I'm no good to you, George.
Listen to me. Do you have any other secret hiding places? Someplace you would have hidden it?
I've been over every inch of my office, every inch of my house. Oh, George.
You stop crying. Think.
I can't think anymore, George.
Ah, where's that money, you silly, stupid old fool? Do you realize what this means? It means bankruptcy and scandal and prison. That's what it means. If one of us is going to jail, well, it's not going to be me.
Darling, you're home.
Hi, Daddy.
Did you bring the wreath?
Wreath? What wreath?
The Merry Christmas wreath for the front window.
Oh, no, I left it in my office.
Oh, is it snowing?
Yeah, just started.
Well, where's your coat and hat?
Must have left them at the office, too.
What's the matter?
Nothing's the matter. Everything's just fine.
Mommy says we could stay up till midnight and sing Christmas carols.
Can you sing, Daddy?
You better hurry up and shave. The families will be here soon.
Families? No, I don't want any families over here.
Well, what's the matter? Was it a hectic day?
Oh, yeah, another red letter day for the Baileys.
Excuse me?
Hey, Daddy, the Browns next door have a new car. You should see it.
Well, what's the matter with our car? Isn't it good enough for you?
Yes, Daddy.
Oh, must she keep playing that?
Daddy, I have to practice for the party tonight.
Excuse me?
Excuse you for what?
I burped.
All right, darling, you're excused. Now, run upstairs and see if Zuzu needs anything.
Zuzu? Why? Well, what's the matter with Zuzu?
Well, she caught a little cold. Caught it coming home from school. They gave her a flower for a prize, and she didn't want to crush it, so she didn't button up her coat.
What is it, a sore throat or what?
Just a cold. The doctor says it's nothing serious.
The doctor? The doctor was here?
Well, yes. I wanted to make sure before all the excitement. He says there's nothing to worry about. She should be fine for tonight if she takes it easy.
Well, is she running a temperature?
Teensy one, 99.6. She'll be just
It's this
fine.
drafty old house. We might as well be living in a barn. Why do we have to live here in the first place in this measly, crummy old town?
George, what is wrong?
Wrong? Everything's wrong. Do you call this a happy family? Why do we have to have all these kids?
Where are you going?
Up to see Zuzu.
Hi, Daddy, look. I want a flower.
Hey, now wait a second. Where are you going?
I want to give my flower a drink.
All right, here. Give Daddy the flower. I'll give it a drink.
Oh, no, Daddy, the petals broke off. Paste it.
Yeah, all right. I'll just put these here and, hey, look out there. Is that Santa Claus?
Where?
Oh, no, it was just a little cloud. Ah, there you go. Good as new.
Thanks, Daddy.
Now, can you do something for me?
What?
Will you try to get some sleep?
I'm not sleepy. I'm excited for the party and I want to look at my flower.
I know, but if you go to sleep, then you could dream about it, and it would be a whole garden. And then it will be time for the party.
It will?
Oh, it sure will.
Can I bring my flower to the party?
Of course you can.
Okay, Daddy, but don't forget to wake me up.
I won't.
Telephone!
I'll get it. Hello? Yes, this is Mrs. Bailey. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Welch. I'm sure she'll be fine. The doctor says she should be fine in time for Christmas dinner.
Is that Zuzu's teacher?
Yes.
Give me that. Hello, Mrs. Welch. This is George Bailey. I'm Zuzu's father. Say, what kind of a teacher are you anyways? Sending her home half naked like that? Do you realize she's probably going to catch pneumonia because of you?
George!
Is this the sort of thing we pay taxes for? So that some silly, stupid, careless people can send our children home without their clothes on? I know, maybe they aren't the best dressed kids. They don't have any decent clothes, but... Hello? Oh, Mr. Welch. I'm glad I'm talking to you now. It gives me a chance to tell you what I really think of your wife. Oh, you will, huh?
George, stop it.
Anytime you think you're man enough. Hello? Huh, he hung up.
Daddy, how do you spell frankincense?
Oh, how should I know? What am I, a dictionary? Janie, haven't you learned that silly tune yet? You've played it over and over. Now stop it. I'm sorry, everyone. Mary, Janie, I'm sorry. Janie, you please go ahead and practice. Pete, I owe you an apology, too. I'm sorry. What was it you needed to know?
Nothing, Daddy.
Now, what is the matter with everyone? It's Christmas. Janie, you go on. I told you to practice. Now go on and play.
Oh, Daddy.
George, I know something is wrong, but don't you dare take it out on the children.
Mary.
George, wait. Canandaigua 247, please.
Is Daddy in trouble? Shall I pray for him?
Yes, Janie. Pray very hard.
Me too?
You too, Tommy. Hello, Uncle Billy?
George has no way to raise the $8,000 on his own with no time to spare. He has no choice but to turn to the one man who has the money to save him. The same man who took the very $8,000 he was looking for.
I'm in trouble, Mr. Potter. I need your help. Through some accident, the building and loan is short in their accounts. The bank examiner came today, and we need to raise $8,000 right away.
Oh, so that's what the reporters wanted to talk to you about.
The reporters?
Yes, they called me up from the building and loan. Oh, and someone from the DA's office as well. And that poor Mr. Carter you ran out on.
Please, help me, Mr. Potter. I'll pay you any sort of bonus, any interest on the loan. If you still want the building and loan, you can,
Is there a chance there's just a slight discrepancy in the books?
No chance of that. I just misplaced $8,000.
You misplaced it. Tell me, George, what have you been doing? Playing the market with the company's money? Is it a woman? You know it's all over town that you've been giving money to Violet Bick. Not that I care, but why did you come to me? Why don't you go to your obnoxious friend Sam Wainwright?
He's in Europe. I can't get in touch with him.
I see. Well, what about all your other friends?
None of them have anywhere near that kind of money, Mr. Potter. You know that. You're the only one in town who can help me.
I see. I've suddenly become quite important to you, George. Well, what kind of security do you have? You clearly can misplace quite a bit of money. Do you have any stocks?
No, sir.
Bonds? Real estate? Collateral of any kind?
Yes, I have a life insurance policy. $15,000.
I see. And how much is your equity in it?
$500.
500? And you asked me to lend you 8,000. Look at you. You used to be so cocky. You were going to go out and conquer the world. You once called me a war-frustrated old man. What are you but a war-frustrated young man? A miserable little clerk crawling in here on your knees, begging for my help with nothing but a $500 equity in an insurance policy to offer. You're worth more dead than alive. Why don't you go and ask the riffraff you love so much for the money? Because you know they'd run you out of town. But I'm going to do you a favor, George. I'm going to keep you safe from that mob. As a stockholder of the building and loan, I will call the sheriff to swear out a warrant for your arrest. Misappropriation of funds. Malfeasance. That's right, George. Go ahead and run. You can't hide in a little town like Canandaigua.
Hey, Mr. Bailey!
Hello, Martini.
Oh, it's always such an honor to have you with us. A Merry Christmas. What can I get you?
I really just need to sit for a moment.
You can sit all night. Nick, give this man a chair.
Here you go, George.
Oh, thanks, Martini. Nick. Oh, God. Dear Father in heaven. I'm not a praying man, but I'm at the end of my rope. Show me the way, God.
Are you okay, George? You don't look so good. You want someone to take you home?
Mr. Bailey, are you all right?
George Bailey's here. Where?
Why, this is George Bailey.
And the next time you talk to my wife like that, you'll...
Oh, you get out of here!
Now wait, I want to pay for my drink.
You get out of here quicker. You hit my best friend.
You all right, George?
Who was that?
He's a gone, don't you worry. His name is a Welch. You hear that, Nick? He ain't no coming around here no more.
You bet. Oh, Welch. That's what I get for praying.
George, where are you going? Oh, please don't go this way, Mr. Bailey. George, no.
Clarence, the time has come, Clarence. Do you see him walking out onto the bridge? Save him, Clarence.
Goodbye, Mary. Help! Wait, hold on, buddy. I'm coming. I got you.
Are you two okay? That water's freezing. Come on, let's get you somewhere warm. I'm the night watchman right over there at the mill, and I saw you guys on the bridge. I came to warn you it was really icy. Guess you found out. I think I've got some more blankets in my office. Hey, how'd you happen to fall in?
I didn't fall in. I jumped in to save George.
You what? To save me?
Well, it worked, didn't it? You didn't go through with it.
With what?
Suicide.
Oh, it's against the law here to commit suicide around here.
It's against the law where I come from, too.
Oh, really? Are you new in town? Me too. I just moved from Binghamton. How about you, friend? Where are you from?
Heaven.
Heaven? Oh. Let me find those blankets.
I had to act quickly. That's why I jumped in. I knew that if I was drowning, you'd try to save me. And you see, you did. And that's how I saved you.
Very funny.
Your lip's bleeding, George.
Oh, yeah, it is. Here's the blankets. You need a doctor or something?
No, I'm fine. I just got a busted jaw as an answer to a prayer.
Oh, no, George. I'm the answer to your prayer.
Wait, how do you know my name?
I know all about you. I've watched you grow up from a little boy.
What are you, a mind reader or something?
Oh, no.
Well, what are you then?
Clarence Oddbody, AS2.
Oddbody? Well, that seems about right. AS2? What's an AS2?
Angel second class.
Second class?
I didn't have time to get any stylish clothes. I wore this on my last birthday. I passed away in it.
Passed away?
Oh, no, I got Tom Sawyer all wet. I shouldn't have brought it with me, but I always leave things in my pockets. And it's signed, too. Oh, well, I'll have to ask him to sign another one. I'll leave it by the radiator to dry out. Do you like Mark Twain? Oh, you should read his latest.
His latest?
Oh, brother, what did Martini put in my drink? What's with you? What did you just say a minute ago, that you want to save me?
Yes, that's why I'm here.
What? Who are you?
I'm your guardian angel.
Guardian angel?
Ridiculous to think of killing yourself for money. $8,000.
Yeah, stuff like that. Now, how could you know that?
I told you, I'm your guardian angel, and I know everything about you.
Well, you look like the kind of angel I'd get. Fallen angel, aren't you? What happened to your wings?
Well, I'm only second class. I have to earn them.
You, buddy, you're the one that needs a doctor. A shrink looking for your wings. Mr. Potter isn't paying me enough for this.
Well, you don't look too dangerous anyway. A wingless angel, huh? Well, how are you going to earn them?
By helping you.
Only one way you can help me. You don't happen to have $8,000 on you?
Oh, no, we don't use money in heaven.
Oh, that's right. Well, it comes in pretty handy around here, bub. I found that out a little late. I'm worth more dead than alive.
Now look, George, you mustn't talk like that. I won't get my wings with that attitude. You just don't know all that you have done. If it hadn't been for you...
Yeah, if it hadn't been for me, everybody would be a lot happier. My wife, my kids, my friends. Look, little fella, why don't you go off and haunt somebody else?
You don't understand. I have my job.
Oh, just shut up, will you?
This isn't going to be so easy. You think killing yourself would make everyone happier?
Oh, I don't know. I guess you're right. I suppose it would be better if I'd never been born.
What did you say?
I said I wish I'd never been born.
Oh, George, what a wonderful idea. Josephine?
Now you're talking to yourself. Who's Josephine?
Oh, that's just great. Thanks, ma'am. George, you got your wish. You've never been born. Well, you don't have to make such a fuss about it. Well, George, that's it. You don't exist. You haven't a care in the world.
Hey, wait a second. Will you say something else in that ear?
Sure, you can hear out of it. No $8,000 to worry about, no sheriff.
Well, what do you know about that? I haven't been able to hear out of that ear since I was a little kid. Must have been that cold water.
Your lips stopped bleeding too, George.
Well, that's the doggonedest thing. What's happened? Oh, it stopped snowing out. Come on now, as soon as our clothes are dry.
Your clothes are dry.
Radiator must be hotter than I thought. Well, come on, get your clothes on and we'll stroll back up to Martini's and... I'm sorry. I'll stroll. You fly.
I can't fly. I haven't got my wings.
Oh, your wings. Yeah. Oh, hello, Nick. Where's Martini?
You just want a martini?
No, where's Martini, your boss?
Look, I'm the boss. You want a drink or don't you?
Okay. How about a double bourbon quick, huh?
Okay, what's yours?
Well, I was just thinking... Oh, it's been such a long time since I...
Look, mister, I'm standing here waiting for you to make up your mind.
And you're a good man. I was just thinking a flaming rum punch. No, that's not it. Not cold enough for that. Wait a minute. I got it. Mulled wine. Heavy on the cinnamon, light on the cloves. Off with you and be lively.
Hey, look, mister, we serve hard drinks here for men who want to get drunk fast. Now, we don't need any characters here to give the joint atmosphere. Is that clear, or do I have to slip you my right for a convincer?
Nick, just give him the same as me. He's okay.
Okay, then.
What is the matter with him? I've never seen Nick act like that before.
You're going to see a lot of strange things from now on.
Oh, yeah. Hey, little fella, you worry me. You got someplace to sleep?
No.
You don't, huh? Do you have any money?
No, I told you. We don't use money in heaven.
Okay, enough of the heaven business. Why did you jump in that river?
I jumped in the river to save you so I can get my wings. Oh, congratulations.
What?
Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. Okay, that's enough. Out you two pixies. Go through the door or out the window.
Hey, look who's here.
Could you spare a little?
Hey, didn't I tell you to never come around panhandling here again?
Mr. Gower! Mr. Gower? Well, it's George Bailey. Don't you recognize me?
No.
Get him out of here.
Wait.
Now, Nick, leave Mr. Gower alone.
You know, that's another reason for me not to like you. That rummy spent 20 years in jail for poisoning a kid. If you know him, you must be a jailboy yourself. Hey, Paulie, please show these gentlemen the door.
You got it. This way, gentlemen.
Some wings for the way out.
You see, George, you were not there to stop Gower from putting that poison
Look,
into...
who are you?
I told you, George. I'm your guardian angel.
Yeah, I know, you told me that, but what else are you? Are you a hypnotist?
Don't you understand, George? It's because you were never born.
If I wasn't born, then who am I?
You're nobody. You have no identity.
Oh, what do you mean? I'm George Bailey.
There is no George Bailey. You have no papers, no cards, no driver's license, no 4F card, no insurance policy.
I know. What about,
They're not there either, George.
What?
Zuzu's pedals.
How did you...
You've been given a great gift, George. A chance to see what the world would be like without you.
Now, wait a minute. Just wait a minute. This is some kind of funny dream I'm having. I'm going home to wake up.
What home?
Now, just shut up. You're crazy, that's it. You're screwy, and you're driving me crazy, too. I'm going home to see my wife and kids. Do you understand that? And I'm going home alone.
How am I doing, Josephine? Thanks. No, I didn't have a drink.
Hey, where did the building and loan go?
The building and what?
The building and loan, right over there on the corner.
They went out of business years ago.
Hey, stop! Police!
Let me go. Get your meat hooks off me.
Hands behind your back.
Hey, I know her.
Yeah, so does every man in town.
Yeah, that's Violet back.
I know Potter, and he'll have your job.
That's what they all say.
Oh, I gotta get home. Taxi! Hey, Ernie, over here. Oh, listen, Ernie, take me home. I'm off my nut.
Okay, where do you live?
Now, Ernie, don't you start pulling that too. You know where I live, 320 Sycamore.
Okay, wait, 320 Sycamore?
Yes, and hurry, Zuzu's sick.
All right.
Now look here, Ernie, you gotta straighten me out. I've had some bad liquor or something. All right, listen to me now. You're Ernie Bishop, and you live in Bailey Park with your wife and kid. Now that's right, isn't it?
You've seen my wife?
Seen your wife? My gosh, I've been to your house 100 times.
Look, Bud, what's the big idea? I live in a shack in Potter's Field. My wife left Pottersville 3 years ago and took the kid. I don't know where they are, and I ain't never seen you before in my life.
Pottersville? Well, don't you mean Canandaigua?
This town hasn't been called that in 20 years. What's wrong with you, mister?
I'm not sure. Just step on it. Get me home.
This is the place.
Of course it's the place. Ah, the door's locked. Where are my... Oh, I don't have my keys. We always kept a spare one under the mat, but where's the mat? I could crawl in the... Oh, all the windows are broken. Where's all our furniture? Mary? Mary? Tommy? Pete? Janie? Zuzu? Where are you?
They're not there, George. You have no children. No one's lived here since the Granvilles, and it's in quite a disarray, isn't it?
Mary, where are you? You, what have you done with them? Mary! Mary!
What's going on, Ernie? I followed you when that coot ran off and jumped into your car. You all right? You can hear that guy screaming and clanging clear down the street.
I'm not sure. I think he lost his marbles. Then this other guy just showed up.
I better stop this. All right, put up your hands, both of you. No fast moves.
Oh, Bert, thank heaven you're here.
Stand back.
Bert, what happened to the house? Where's Mary? Where are my kids?
Watch him, Bert.
What is the matter with the two of you? You don't know me? Ernie, you drove me home on my wedding night. Bert, you gave us champagne.
Look, now, why don't you be a good kid and we'll take you to a doctor. Everything's going to be all right.
Bert, now listen to me. Ernie, just take me to my mother's house. Now, Bert, listen.
I hate to have to do this to you, fella.
You can't.
Yow!
Sorry, friend. Run, George.
Okay. You asked for it. Hey, where'd he go?
Well, I don't know, but I'm going to Nick's.
Look at that sign. Ma Bailey's boarding house. Well, that's the wrong sign. I had a new one made for her 50th birthday. Oh, no. Mother!
Well?
Oh, Mother.
Mother? Well, what do you want?
Oh, Mother, it's George. I thought for sure you'd remember me.
George who? If you're looking for a room, there's no vacancy.
Oh, Mother, please help me. Something terrible's happened to me. I don't know what it is. Something's happened to everybody. Please, let me come in until I get over it.
Get over what? I don't take in strangers unless they're sent here by somebody I know.
Oh, well, I know everybody that you know. Your brother-in-law, Uncle Billy.
You know Billy?
Of course I do.
Well, when'd you see him last?
Just this afternoon at his house.
That's a lie. He's been in the asylum ever since my husband died, and he lost the business. And if you ask me, that's where you belong.
Strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many others. And when he isn't around, he leaves an awful hole, doesn't he?
I've heard of things like this. You've got me under some sort of a trance or spell or something. Well, I'm going to get out of it. And I know how, too. I just have to retrace my steps. The last man I talked to before all this stuff started happening to me was Martini. But he wasn't at his bar.
Well, do you know where he lives?
Well, sure I know where he lives. He lives in Bailey Park. It's just nearby.
You're sure this is Bailey Park? Looks like a rundown cemetery to me.
I'm not sure of anything anymore. This should be Bailey Park, but where are the houses?
You weren't here to build them. Look at this grave over here.
My father's.
No, George, not that one. This one over here.
Harry Bailey? That's impossible.
Your brother broke through the ice and died at the age of 9.
That's a lie. Harry Bailey went to the war. He won the Congressional Medal of Honor. He saved the lives of every man on that transport.
Every man on that transport died. Harry wasn't there to save them because you weren't there to save Harry. You see, George, you really had a wonderful life. Don't you see what a mistake it would be to throw it away?
Clarence?
Yes, George.
Where's Mary?
You're not going to like it, George.
Please just tell me.
She's a different woman, George, lonely and angry.
Just tell me where my wife is.
She's the secretary for the mayor, Henry F. Potter. She's about to leave the office.
Oh, no. Mary! Mary!
There must be an easier way to get my wings.
Mary!
Mr. Potter's office is closed.
Mary, wait!
No exceptions. And if you don't move along now, I'll have you arrested for loitering.
Mary, please!
Absolutely not. Come back on the 26th, though I doubt Mr. Potter will even see you, particularly without an appointment.
Well, don't you know me?
What? No, I don't know you. And from the look of you, I wouldn't want to. I bet my December wages you're nothing but a drunk and a degenerate. I'll thank you to leave me alone.
Look closely. Are you sure you've never seen me before? Please, just do this for me.
No, I want nothing to do with a louse like you. If you do not walk away this minute, I will scream for the police.
Just a minute, Mary, please.
Help, police!
What about our family, our kids?
Kids? A family? With you? Just stay away from me. Help! Help!
You again? Stop! Stop right where you are.
What happens to me? Only get me back to my wife and kids. Clarence, please! Please! God! I want to live again! I want to live again!
George? George, are you all right?
Now you stay away from me, Bert! I've got nothing to lose anymore, so stay back.
What are you yelling for, George? And what are you doing on the bridge?
I'm telling you. Wait, Bert, you know me?
Know you? I've been looking everywhere for you, George. Your lip's bleeding. Are you sure you're all right?
My mouth's bleeding. My mouth's bleeding. Zuzu's petals, here they are! Zuzu's petals! Hey, Merry Christmas!
Let me take you home, George.
Yes, yes, take me home to my wife and kids. And step on it. Blare the sirens.
Okay, George. I don't know what's gotten into you, but here goes.
Merry Christmas, Canandaigua! Hey, Merry Christmas! It's Mr. Gower's drugstore! Merry Christmas, Martinis! Oh, Merry Christmas, you wonderful old building and loan! Wow, hello, everyone! Where's Mary? Oh, Mr. Carter, hello, Merry Christmas.
George, I've discovered a deficit.
Oh, I know, it's $8,000, right?
Oh, now I brought along the county sheriff, and he's got a paper here.
I bet it's a warrant for my arrest. Oh, isn't it wonderful? And all these reporters. Hello, everyone. Merry Christmas. Mary?
Daddy!
Kids, Petey, Janie, Tommy!
Daddy!
Suzu! Oh, my little ginger snap. How do you feel?
Just fine. Not a smidge of temperature.
Not a smidge. Now, where's your mother?
She went out looking for you at Grandma and Uncle Billy.
George!
Mary, darling!
Oh, George, we've been so frightened.
Where have you been?
Oh, let me touch you. Are you real? Oh, you have no idea what's been happening to me.
You have no idea what's happening here. It's a miracle, just a miracle. No, come in, everyone, come in.
Hello. Hi.
Mary did it, George. She told a few people you were in trouble, and they scattered all over town collecting money. They didn't ask any questions. They just said, if George is in trouble, you can count on me. I never saw anything like it. Now, step right up.
I wouldn't be here without you, George. Here you are.
The line forms on the right.
I broke the jukebox, too.
Oh,
Mr. Gower!
You saved my life, George.
I'm not going to go, George. I changed my mind.
I wouldn't have a roof over my head if it weren't for you, George.
Wait just a minute. Quiet, everyone. It's a telegram from Sam Wainwright in London.
Ooh.
Mr. Gower cables you need cash. Stop. My office has instructed to advance you up to $25,000. Stop. Hee-haw and Merry Christmas, Sam Wainwright.
Yay! Mr. Martini, how about some wine?
George!
Harry, you're here!
Harry, but what about your banquet in New York?
Well, I got up as soon as I got the telegram. I couldn't let you down, George. Everyone, your attention, please. A toast to my big brother, George, the richest man in town.
May all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind. Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne.
What's this book? The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. The inscription is for you. To George. Remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Thank you. P.S. I got them. Who's this from?
Well, that's a Christmas present from a very dear friend of mine.
Look, Daddy, Mrs. Welch says that every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings.
That's right! That's right! Attaboy, Clarence!
This concludes this installment of WBRC's Jingle Bell Hour and tonight's performance of It's a Wonderful Life, brought to you by the Bloomfield Rotary Club and J.D. Chapman Insurance. We wish you all the happiest of holidays to you and yours. Thank you and good night.